Hey everyone, I'm Patrika Darbo, and I'm visiting FaceTime with Todd Wharton. And I'm visiting to talk about the fact that I just came back on Days of Our Lives, but honey, I'm an old doll and I've been around a long time, so we got so much to talk about.
So I couldn't think of anything better than to start out the new year with grumpy old men New Year's tweets. So for the new year, my doctor recommended that I needed to lose some weight. So I stopped watching Todd's show by getting rid of my TV and my wife. I lost 300 pounds. I vowed to give up drinking this year, and then I caught Todd's show. Now I own a bar. Like everyone else on New Year's, I'm waiting for one thing to drop. Todd's broad. What a pussy. I caught Todd's broadcast from New Year's Eve, not to admit, he did a hell of a job. Then again, so did my hemorrhoids on my ass.
I now realize television has one major advantage over a live stage show.
Oh, what's that?
A television you can turn off.
We'll be right back with Primetime Emmy Award-winning actress Patrika Darbo. So welcome back to the show, everyone. So my guest tonight is an animal activist. She's known for her roles in daytime TV, feature films, and you may have seen her in some commercials. And on top of that, she's a Primetime Emmy winner. Well, let's take a look at a clip of this great actress.
Can I ask you a favor? Can I have this seat?
What do you have to sit here for? There are plenty of other seats.
I can't explain. It's very important that I sit here.
What are you doing here anyway? I thought you were fired.
Okay, fine.
I cook naked, I clean naked, I drive naked. Naked.
Who are you?
Oh, you don't want to know, mister. I'm trouble.
I'll count to 3. If you don't give up the chair, the wig is coming off.
I don't wear a wig.
1.
Please welcome to the show, Patrika Darbo.
I'm doing great, thank you very much. A little frantic this morning between FaceTime, Facebook, all these other things because I'm a tech dinosaur, but hey, we made it here.
Yes, we are in each other's face. So that's
There
what
you
we're
go.
doing today. We're doing
And I'm always like going, oh, everything's reversed. It's kind of like the mirror. Oh, wait, the camera's up there. Perhaps I should look directly in the camera and look fabulous. But anyway, it's kind of like an audition where you're never supposed to look in the camera. And then you find yourself looking down here like this going, what's going on? So at any point in time, do your finger like this if I need to look up or look left or look.
No problem. I'll do one of these and you'll be like, what's he doing?
What the hell is that mean?
Is that like a weird cross? Like
I'll just go, oh, potty break. Potty break.
Yes, that is the baseball signal where it's like, and then you go take a break. I'm gonna edit the film.
Like this.
Definitely. Patrika, let's jump right into it. You are known for a lot of roles, but right now you're revising a role on Days of Our Lives. I believe the role that you're playing, you were nominated for a Primetime Emmy for this role.
Yes.
And it's Nancy Wesley. And tell me about what made you decide to come back to the show pretty much during and after COVID at a time that honestly TV right now is I think the most popular thing to watch.
The mental hospital let me out, so I said, okay. It is a little crazy with this, but I have only one thing to say. I was nominated for a daytime Emmy. I won a primetime Emmy. So just because there are 2 academies
Right.
there, just to make that distinction.
Okay.
I loved playing Nancy Wesley. I loved working with Nadia. She grew up on the show. She was 18 when she started. Kevin Spiritus, who plays my husband on there. I mean, we had a great time. We had a good camaraderie. And I had a great time on Days. So, and I wasn't working. So as an actor, a job is a job.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was only going on for a couple episodes, but it's turned into be a lot more. Days is like 6 months ahead in their filming, Todd. So they were the only show that could keep running during COVID when everything shut down.
Yeah.
When we go in now, because of COVID, we're tested every day. We have to sit and wait to make sure we're cleared before we work with each other. If someone tests positive that we're close to, They send us home. We have to go into quarantine, even if we're not the person that tested positive, but we were close to them. And then, so that slows the show down. I've got 4 or 5 shows over there that I've only shot pieces of because people have not been able to finish. And it might not be them, but it may be their family. So, and whatever show's going on right this moment, if things are, you're looking at reruns or you're not sure what's happening, it's because COVID has shut things down.
Yeah, and it's bad. I've been speaking with a lot of actors lately, and they're showing the same concerns that you're having as well, that restaurant industry, the art and entertainment industry have really been affected by this pandemic, because everything you do is you have a lot of people around you. Any job that has a lot of people around you, they have to shut down. And unfortunately, with soaps, movies, I mean, your cast alone, without the crew, I mean, you're talking at least 9 to 10 people. That was me, by the way. So
Okay, it's like,
yeah, it's like we were just talking about technology. It's like
technology and something dinged.
my coffee is ready. Somebody's at the door. Wait, hold on. Is that my what is that? Is that Grubhub?
I know, it's like any second the phone may ring because I can't turn it off. I don't know how to do that.
Exactly. And then later on, Jimmy Stewart's gonna hit me up. No, Todd, it's somebody just got their wings. Like, oh, okay, that's what that noise is all about. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Tom,
love it. Love that reference. Loved it.
Listen, It's a Wonderful Life. See, there we go again. Stop. All right, listen, man, stop. See, everybody knows I do an interview right now. I always post, but they didn't want to hit me up like, Todd, you got to have me on. I'm like, listen, I'm talking to somebody right now. We talk later. But no, Jimmy,
my time. It's my time.
Yes, it's Patrika's time. Leave the woman alone. All right, we got a lot of comedy clips. We're taking out this interview. We're gonna have fun. But yes, It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart is one of my most favorite iconic movies and roles. I cannot get enough of it. I love it to death.
I love that one, but I think in Harvey,
yeah,
there's not a moment that you don't believe there's a 6-foot rabbit walking with him or talking with him. I don't care what anybody says. He was brilliant in that. So my dog has suddenly decided to get up here. Now, what do you want? Go away.
What kind of dog you got there, Shih Tzu?
I have a Chihuahua Terrier.
That's adorable.
Whose middle name is Satan. She is Satan. She needs to get wings. She's fierce. The Terrier and the Chihuahua. What was I thinking? So
you ever noticed that the shorter the dog, the more angry and more tougher they are?
Oh, I mean, there's a Doberman walks by in the neighborhood and she wants to take him on. It's like, and the Doberman's going, just one bite and you're gone, baby.
That dog, everybody should just call all the small dogs Joe Pesci, because that's pretty much what the dog is. Like, listen, let me tell you something, man. And then just go out. Yeah, that's what all small dogs should be. Joe Pesci, Goodfellow dogs. That's pretty much it. You know?
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Why are you growling?
Am I funny? Am I funny to you? But Tom Langdon, he was the producer, correct? He was the one who pretty much created the role. Now, I read the whole story on this thing. I really wanted to learn about your character. What I loved about your character was during the time when you started the role, what really attracted you was they wanted to create a real woman, not just a figure on TV, but somebody that a lot more people can relate to, right?
I think it was, first of all, they didn't tell me quite that story at the beginning. I thought it was just going on to serve beer and peanuts. And then they said, turn on your TV. And my agent says, turn on the TV, you'll see who your husband is. And I was like, holy, they don't know who I am. That can't be anyway. So, and then Tom Logan of, I get all these names confused, but of TV Guide named me the full-figured bitch goddess of daytime, which was wonderful.
Thank you for saying that. I didn't want to say that.
It was, I mean, it was really great. And I always say it's because I'm a size 2 with the 0 after the 2, and Christian Alfonso is the 2 with the 0 in front of it. So, but I think people got to relate to us. I think the story coming is going to be a wild ride for people who knew us in the past. Mm-hmm. And they've created a story that is poignant. And I can't say any more than that, but it's going to be a wild ride. Right now, you met me yesterday because I came back on 14th.
That's right.
With glasses and gray hair. On Monday, Kevin comes back. So it starts from there. So it's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, they didn't really ask you to audition for the role. They were just so impressed with who you are. They thought you were perfect for this. How did that feel that it's not like the character was written for you, but when they finished writing it, they're like, Patrika is the character. We got to get her. How did that feel to you when?
Well, it's thrilling when you're asked to do a part. Fran Bascom was the casting director, and she knew me personally as well as acting wise. And she had asked me, would I do a soap? And I said, I'm an actor. Of course I'll do a soap. We all want to work. I mean, I don't make that distinction. I didn't realize at the time that a soap opera is the hardest work on television. We shoot a movie script a day, Todd.
Yeah, and they don't get it until that day, correct?
No, we usually get it lately because of COVID. We get it like 2 or 3 days. So it's like I never leave my sofa memorizing. A lot of times we get at least a week.
Wow.
But when you're shooting a film, you may only shoot 3 pages a day. A sitcom that you read through on Monday, but the show you shoot on Friday is not the same. Yeah. And the 2 shows that you shoot on Friday, one may be different than the others.
Right.
And episodic gives you 15 days to shoot an episode, which is a less script than we shoot. So it is the hardest work. I am so grateful to them that I was embraced by these. And when I won the Soap Opera Digest Award, I just kind of looked out into the audience and I'm going to cry now. I can't tell you the overwhelming joy that you feel when you look at these people that have been in this business and soap operas for so long that welcomed me, who was not the normal soap person, into their community. And on every show, because I just recently did Bold and the Beautiful. I recently did Young and the Restless as the same character on both of those shows. In the 80s, I did General Hospital, just serving beer and peanuts.
Yeah, how crazy is that your character, though? Your character moved into all different shows. Like, that's really rare that even happens, because you're talking different shows. Like, how crazy was that you're doing all these shows on a character that you developed and everybody loved?
Well, it's because each of the writers and executive producers created, Brad Bell created my character as the sister of the iconic Sally Spector, who was there with Darlene Conley. And her granddaughter is on there, Courtney Hope. So I got to play her grandmother, which was the sister to Sally. And then Sally Spector moved over to Young and the Restless. So they graciously brought my character over there too. Back in the 80s when I did Beer and Peanuts, nobody knew who the hell I was, but I was Sally the waitress in Duke's place. So that was a wonderful experience. And to know a lot of these actors, because some of them have been with the show for 20, 30, more years. And I'm so grateful to have been a part of it and to continue to be a part of it and to be accepted with such warmth. And the fans, Todd, you need to get soap opera fans. You won't be able to go out anymore. You won't be able to walk down the street, and they will defend you with guns, knives, ropes, whatever. They are the most loyal, wonderful fans in the world.
Oh, I would love it. I don't know. Do I have a face for soap opera? Can I get away with a little bit of a role? I don't know if
Honey, look at this body. I got away with what I'm doing. Listen, there's room for everyone. Inclusivity is the word now. So you'd be there definitely.
Oh, I love it. So Patrika, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to come in and I'm going to play your love interest. I'm going to be that young guy. I'll be like, David.
Well, it could happen. On something.
Yeah, listen, man, it's 2022. Anything's possible. And
oh, that's funny. That's the first time somebody said it's 2022.
Yeah,
it's funny when you hear that. It's like we've been in it half a month now, and I'm like, wow, interesting to hear it said out loud.
Yeah, it's just weird because I'm still typing to people 2021 in my signatures when I'm posting stuff. People are like, Todd, is that last year? I'm like, yeah, because nobody really starts getting the year until like mid-February, because we keep going backwards in 2021 whenever we type stuff. It's just what we do. Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me when I saw the ball drop and it came down and these people are making out and I see 2022. I'm like, hey guys, can you like go get a room? There's people out here. What are you guys doing around here? Yeah, you have a lot of great roles, but I mean, soap operas in itself, you do a lot of things that a lot of actors choose not to do. I mean, not only did you do TV, but you did TV soap, but you're also a film actor. And I spoke to a lot of actors to find it's a very hard career to juggle when you're trying to do both, because there's a recommendation on how to do it and not how to do it. But you seem to balance that out pretty well. Did you ever find it tough for you to go from films to soap to film, stuff like that?
I think the only thing tough for me is that I'm a fangirl. So, I'll work with Pierce Brosnan or, Malkovich or Eastwood, and you have to get past the once I get past that, it's all okay. I'm fine after I get past that page. And listen, hun, when I worked with Sidney Poitier, which is poignant at this point because we recently lost him.
Yeah.
But I auditioned for Ghost Dad. I went into the audition, and as we're talking like this, Sidney Poitier is sitting 2 arms lengths away from me in this beautiful yellow sweater. He was the most breathtaking thing I'd ever seen. And I was like such a fangirl. And the casting director said to me, Mr. Poitier, Patrika Darbo, hi, Patrika, are you ready? And I went, oh my God, no, I'm sitting 2 feet away from Sidney Poitier. My mother's going to shit when she finds out about this. I'm so sorry I just said that. But that was my audition. And at that point, he gave me the part.
Oh my God. Don't be sorry, because that's going on a reel right there. I love it. That's classic there.
It was like, he was so sweet. He's laughing. And then he took my hand and patted it and said, it's okay, honey. I've been so lucky. I'm myself most of the time. And it's working with Sandra Bullock and Jason Patrick. But John Malkovich was like, but he was like, we talked about this a little before that. He was so wonderful when he killed me, which sounds weird. It sounds weird to say that. It does. It sounds weird. But we worked with a stunt coordinator. So it was when he grabs me and breaks my neck that he said, we're going to do this on 1, 2, 3. Not 1, 2, and 3. We're 1, 2, 3 like this. Because he wanted to make sure that was right. Mary Van Arsdale was my roommate. If you remember that. He spent the first half of the day being slammed into that, that violent death that she went through.
Right.
But I think what other people don't know was that I was doing a stage show at the time. And one of the young girls in the cast was a theater major at UCLA. And she said to me, Patrika, if I don't get to meet John Malkovich, I'll kill you. Anyway, so I asked if I could have a guest on the set.
Right.
They said yes. She came to the set. John spent a couple hours while they were setting things up and doing that talking theater to her. That's the kind of guy he was.
Wow.
So, and I didn't get to work with Clint, but he did hire me to be in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil because he liked our scene in the bank.
Incredible cast, by the way. You're talking John Cusack. I believe Spacey was in it as well.
Kevin Spacey. He was the one on trial. Yes.
Oh my God, what a great cast.
It was crazy. And the lady Chablis, a hoot and a half. So.
Oh my God. And the thing about In a Line of Fire, even though your roommate's, murder scene was traumatic, yours is worse because you really pulled off that innocent woman that nobody could ever even think about harming. And that's what I think the scene called for was, yes, he had a violent thing with your roommate, but yours is more traumatic because you were the person that nobody would ever picture that would ever get harmed ever. You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The casting ladies, or Jane and Jean, they were fabulous. But Wolfgang Peterson, he told me, he said, I've interviewed about 500 women for this because the audience has to really care about her. And when she says, I don't remember that high school, everybody in the audience went, because at that point, John looked at me, looked at the dog, and then looked back at me. And then he shows up at my door. And I've had experiences at the grocery store to this day, and that film was 20 something years ago, where I'll be in the fruit line or something, and somebody will turn and look at me and go, if you hadn't let him in, you would still be alive. And what the hell was the dog tied up for? And I'm like, okay, it's all right, I'm here.
Guys, I'm here. I didn't die. I
Here.
got a check. There were cameras around, and me and John got a sandwich after he killed me. So
Right.
good.
It's so interesting because it is like the soaps. People get involved in it when it's a good story and a good show. And I was lucky to be in that. I'm lucky to be with what I'm doing in, but it is hard work, and you do have to do a lot of auditions. You do have to pay your dues. And if you are, the only thing I can say to other actors is don't sit in the bar whining about not getting a job. Get your ass in a class and start, doing things that move your career forward instead of whining about stuff.
100% agree with you. And I think I was talking to John Amos recently. I think it was John. Unless you create that iconic career like a Sidney Poitier, Meryl Streep, where people, when they're doing roles, they think of them all the time, right? And that's very hard to get to. That's a 1 in a billion Denzel Washington type of thing. I agree with everything that you're saying, because there are thousands upon hundreds of thousands of known actors and actresses that are going for the same role. And with COVID here and still here, they're now looking to place roles on people that can draw box office money through Netflix and movies. So it's not just about talent anymore. It's also about the names that we were trying to avoid a long time ago, right? Because it's hard to really find really, really good talent without stereotyping, I guess you can call it. But because of COVID, money is a huge factor.
It's the biggest factor. It's the biggest factor. And I think right this moment, because I was the delegate for our union, we gave, and which I'm always yelling, we've got to stop giving away, everything. We've got the cow, but you're giving all the milk away. Where are we going to benefit? So the actors have taken a cut in salary and everything because they said streaming may not make it. Streaming, we're just a little nervous about. Well, Universal's building 18 more stages, and because they have to have that kind of place to film all the streaming that's going on.
Right.
And because there's so much streaming, there shouldn't be an actor out of work, but they use the same actors over and over because that's box office.
That's
so
right.
If you're fans of certain people and you're not seeing them enough, and I'm not just speaking for myself, write a letter to the studios, write a letter and say, can we see some new people? I mean, Hallmark is a big thing. Hallmark has a repertory company of young ladies and that they keep using over and over again. Lifetime is now starting to compete with them. And I think they just started GAC, which is very comparable to, and several of the actresses from Hallmark have moved over there. So it's this new streaming is unbelievable. There's so much stuff going on. Yeah. But you also have to remember that once they get people to sign up to see the show, I mean, Fuller House, I know Michael Campion because he's represented by Anthony also, our publicist. Fuller House, they got to a point where they were getting no more new people signing up to see the show. Right. So now it's time to phase that show out and start with something else somewhere along the line. Yeah. So no matter, even if you're a fan of that, you'll have to watch reruns someplace because they won't do any more no shows because no more people are signing up. Yeah. In the old days, they changed some of the characters there. Like when I did Step by Step, myself and Peggy Ray, who played the mother, she and I both went into the the beauty parlor, and then we were never heard of again. And then all of a sudden they had 3 boys, and all of a sudden then they only had 2 boys, and then they had a daughter, and then some, things changed like that, but that picked up a new audience. So that show was on 8-something years. And I saw Patrick, we were having a cocktail together or 2. Anyway, we were having fun but it's like, he's moved on, and he had said most of the time when he does a series, it's like 8 years. But Patrick was also on Bold and the Beautiful. Yeah. So an actor keeps working when they ask. Yeah, and there are small parts, but there are no small parts. Make that part the part that's going to last in somebody's memory and keep you moving forward. Exactly. And I love how you put that. I also noticed that lead roles are great to have. It's always great to be the lead in all the movies, but I've also noticed that people who are the co-star to the lead actually get a lot more roles and a lot more work than trying to be a lead in every movie unless you become that lead person that people want. I'm glad you mentioned Hallmark and Lifetime. I grew up on those channels from my mother. And the one thing I loved about those shows, they were both great for holiday films, love stories,
I always made fun of my mom because I used to say Lifetime was the man-hating channel because it seemed like every show was about there's a love story and then the guy screws up. And it's like
Girl meets boy, boy meets girl,
yeah.
boy loses girl, girl gets boy back. Yes.
Yeah, this ain't Lifetime. This is alimony time. Like what? It's like what's going on here? But they did surprise a lot of great roles that went into film from these channels. And I think we do need more really popular channels like that that can bring out new stars to really get seen and then move. And I love it. On a different note, which is hard to me, you're also an animal activist and lover, correct?
I do try to support the animals. I mean, I support the vets, children, and animals. Not necessarily in that order, but that's a big thing for me. Our vets served our country. I'm a member of the Thalians. I'm on their board. I don't know if you know that organization was started by Debbie Reynolds years ago, and it's got a lot of support from Hollywood. It was a sad thing when we lost her, but we just had a benefit, and we gave $200,000 to UCLA for Operation Mend to make sure that we're taking care of the mental health of our returning vets. I've worked with Rescue Train and Wagmore and several other agencies. I repost as much as possible if somebody needs some help with an animal and stuff. My dog is a rescue. My previous animals have been rescues. So don't buy rescues. Please spay and neuter. There's too many pets out there right this moment. I have some very good friends who work with the they don't want dogs to be turned into food, so they're rescuing that. And I can't think of the name of that organization. So yeah, I try to support that. And I don't have children of my own, but if I see you hurting one, you better back off because
guys, she did name her beautiful dog Satan, so I'll just
her name is Dusty, but she is Satan.
I'm just saying.
It's that little Chihuahua Terrier that's the Satan, which is appropriate because the devil is in Salem right this moment on days.
Exactly. You also mentioned before, I believe. Now you're pretty much the governor or the co-governor.
This was my last year. I have my governor is replaced by Kim Estes. I just termed out after 5 years. I'm done. So I would, of course, always support the TV Academy. And if I asked to be on the PGEC, which is their executive group, I would certainly do that. I have to, in fact, that's the one thing when we get through, they're getting ready to judge the college awards where college kids all over the world submit writing and all kinds of stuff, and we judge that. The governors and members look at that stuff. So I try to support the up and coming actors and writers and directors because when I'm 102, I expect them to hire me.
That would be great.
It's a networking business that we're in, but the only thing I could say to people is be kind when you're anywhere, be respectful. So.
And I love it. So is there any juice that you're allowed to say about Nancy Wesley's new role coming back that we can look forward to? I mean, are you getting cancer, triple bypass, a brain tumor? Are you getting 3 arms? Like, what's going on here in the soaps?
Let me think if there's some kind of weird hint I can give you. We might have to come back to that.
The storylines of soap operas are just unbelievably crazy. Like, yeah, I just had a brain transplant. Like, oh, really? That's awesome.
Well, we have had a heart transplant. We've had several things like that. And then somebody has the heart. And I'm trying to think, is it Brady that has the heart? I'm not sure who has the heart. It's crazy. But remember, too, on the soap, there are 4 other stories going on at the same time. And the writers on our show and any of the soaps suddenly have to make all those stories come together because in one point, everybody interacts with everybody. Somebody comes in that you don't expect. And there's the stories coming up for me are like wild. So,
well, I love the fact how soaps are lasting. And the reason why I'm saying that is because reality shows have become like the new soap opera for the millennials, right? And I mean, it's real stuff, but it's not. A lot of it, most of it's actually written and played out. But have you ever had a conversation where they thought about changing the time of the soaps to like a nighttime, which obviously would be a huge mistake because your whole audience is stay-at-home moms and dads?
Well, we've now come to a society where everything is like taped, or not taped anymore, but you set your DVR. We already have nighttime soaps. We had Dallas, we have Dynasty,
Right.
and most every television you're watching is a soap. There's some kind of story going on. You tune in each week instead of each day to see what's going on. There were, like, when I first started on the show in '98, I think 18 soaps left. There's only 4, and they're all on our coast out here. There's no more in New York right there.
Mhm.
But the streaming, so much streaming is, and the new, I'm trying to think, the indie series things that have come up, and the short forms, they're all soaps too. So it's a genre that's never going to leave. How we perceive it from the old days is going to be different at this point, I think. It's the business. Everything is a soap opera. Girl meets boy, boy meets girl, boy loses girl. In comes another boy. There goes another girl. This kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's wonderful at this point that we are being more inclusive with what's going on and who's doing what.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend who lost both his arms from the elbow down to an electrical accident when he was much younger. Sings like an angel, used to play the piano, which has to be the hardest thing for him now because he doesn't have it. He has hooks, but he now has a lead role coming up in the new horror film, which I said, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see, John, which is Pet Cemetery. Is coming out sometime.
What?
Yeah.
So
it's that's going to be wonderful. Nick Novicki is only like 3 foot tall. He and I've done several Christmas films together, but he's also a wonderful stand-up. And he just won another award for something he did, but I can't remember what it is, but he works extensively with making sure the Easter Seals program goes on, and they shoot little films for the Easter Seals where you hire your actor on the Friday, you finish the script on the Saturday to give to them, that you shoot it all on Sunday. Then Sunday afternoon, once you finish shooting it, you've got to download it, add music, and do everything, and then send it off to Easter Seals for judging. It's like a 48-hour or 72-hour thingy like this that he works incredibly hard with. And they use a lot of different disability people in that. And I hate to use the word disability because they are not disabled at all.
Yeah, I actually had a friend that used to say, "Don't diss my ability," or he just broke it down. And people with disabilities, even though we don't like the word, are probably the most strongest, passionate people when it comes to doing anything, because their attitude is, listen, I can only go up from here. And I think that's the attitude that everybody should have, no matter what is happening in their life. There's only one way to go, and it's up.
Yes. And what my mother used to say all the times, I wept because I had no shoes until I saw a man with no feet.
I like that. I'm going to remember that.
That is, there's so many poignant things like that. And it was funny, maybe a while ago, you went like what we were talking about bathrooms, and you were making those signals and stuff. Because I grew up in baseball because my stepdad was with the Boston Braves, Milwaukee Braves, Atlanta Braves.
Nice.
And before he passed, he was with the Houston Astros, but he was only 4'2". He was known as the biggest little man in baseball.
Yeah.
And he was also one of the people who said to me, if you want it, you can have it. Though at the same time, my dad was old school, who said, learn to type. Learn to type. You may need to be a secretary.
Yeah, create a skill. Learn how to be a seamstress. Deliver milk. Like, there's a lot of jobs out there that you can do. It's like, yeah, I'm not delivering milk or seamstress or learning how to type. I'm an actress.
I think so much now with all the schools and the teachers and all the, crap going on about that with COVID, and I'm not going back to school. There was something I saw posted, and I think it was on Instagram or Facebook, talking about the fact, if your kids are getting bored with doing online and stuff like that, and you are not really happy about your being home and you're having to neglect your own job, go in and bake cookies. Start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Teach them how to make lasagna.
Yeah.
Go out in the garage and build a table. When I went to school, at least in grammar school, 6 weeks terms, the girls all had to take shop. So I can run any power tool and I can build things.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we added on 2 times to our house, and I was one of the people climbing in rafters, driving in nails and doing stuff because I knew how to do that. I always tease my husband, that's the only reason he married me, is because I could run a power tool. But, But at the same time, the guys had to take, like 3 weeks of sewing and learn how to work a machine or how to sew on buttons. And then they took cooking, learning how to read a recipe and stuff like that. We don't teach those things anymore.
Yeah.
And the first thing I think the family should do is put the phones away. Put the
I
phones
agree
away.
with you. Yeah. I think we're all attached to our internets, our phones, TV, and COVID, like I said, didn't help because it kept us so secluded with our lives that all we had was technology. And now that we're trying to come out into the real world again, I think people are kind of lost because after a while, when you get used to a certain thing, I can't even talk. You're not.
They talk about 20, if you do change your ways for 28 days, it becomes a habit. So we've had a numerous amount of 28 days with this COVID. So, so I do understand that, but we've also lost that sitting down and having dinner together. I mean, and back to where we're talking about Hallmark. I mean, there's the streaming and the violence and everything that goes on. And believe me, I'm part of that industry. And it's necessary to tell that story, but somewhere you need to have a place, which is the Hallmark stations and the GACs, where you can see a safer place for kids to watch and not just see people killing each other back and forth, or, robbery, theft and stuff like that. It always generally, and I'm sure it's always is what I should keep using that word. There's always a happy ending. I mean, life doesn't always have the happy endings, but sometimes that escape to where that is, people need that.
I love it.
People need that.
I love everything you just said. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you back on soap opera, back on TV. I'm really excited about that. And I'm sure I'm going to see you in some more movies because you just have this look and you have this personality that you could play a lot of great roles in a lot of movies coming up. And I'm hoping to see you on some Netflix stuff too. That would be.
I hope so. I mean, I did dub 2 Netflix shows during COVID, and I can't tell you the name of them. One of them, though, was I think it was either Croatian or something. And they give me this dialogue, and the lady she went like this. And I went, how am I going to put words in that? She doesn't open her mouth. And so that was a little difficult. And then the other one was a Spanish one from a series from Spain. And that teacher was like, she talked so fast. It was like this. So that's a hard thing that I have, that I've done it, and I got hired to do it again and again. So I know I'm doing a good job, but it is nerve-wracking. And I'm also blessed because I do commercials. I have 2 commercials running right now, one for Butterfinger and one for Rocket Mortgage. I'm the cat lady waving at you.
Oh, so, I gotta look for that. I gotta look for that one.
And Butterfinger is totally bizarre because it's the BFI chasing down people stealing Butterfinger.
Yes, everybody, do not lay a finger on Patrika's Butterfinger.
I'm the Butterfinger thief. Well, the person attached to me is the Butterfinger.
Exactly. I look forward to seeing you on all this. And Patrika, it's been so great to have you on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. I would love to have you come back, hopefully once COVID is over and I get my studio audience back and everything back. I would love to have you and a lot of my guests back. And I look forward to seeing you on TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you, baby, very much.
You got it. I'll see you soon. So Patrika, thank you for being a guest on FaceTime with Todd Wharton. It was such a pleasure speaking with you, and you are everything that your publicist said you were. I look forward to seeing you back on daytime TV, and I think a lot of your fans in the soap are definitely looking forward to seeing you revising that role, and we wish you all the best, and I look forward to having you back. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this great interview with Patrika Darbo. Check her out, and until then, be safe, be well, and everybody, if you're not living the passion of life, then whose life are you living? I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Hey guys, thank you for watching. So the next time you're in the bathroom scrolling on your phone, why don't you stop on by our YouTube channel and subscribe? It's as easy as 1, 2, man, doesn't that feel good?